Good morning, students. Welcome to virtual class. Today we are going to start last topic of this unit: difference between translational motion and rotational motion. We know that when a body moves in a straight line, then this type of motion is called translational motion, and when a body rotates about an axis of rotation, then this type of motion is called rotational motion. In translational motion and in rotational motion, we use different equations. In translational motion, we use velocity, and velocity is given by displacement upon time, the rate of change of displacement. In rotational motion, we use angular velocity, and angular velocity is given by d theta by dt. D theta, theta is angular displacement. And relation between V and omega, V is R omega. V is equal to R into omega. In translational motion, we use velocity, linear velocity. Linear velocity is given by ds by dt. S is displacement. The rate of change of displacement with respect to time is linear velocity. And in rotational motion, we use theta. Theta is angular displacement. The rate of change of angular displacement is called angular velocity. In translational motion, we use linear acceleration, and linear acceleration is given by dv by dt, the rate of change of linear velocity. On the other hand, in rotational motion, we use angular acceleration. Angular acceleration is alpha, and angular acceleration is given by d omega by dt. Linear velocity is replaced by angular velocity. Acceleration dv by dt and angular acceleration d omega by dt. And relation between linear acceleration and angular acceleration. Linear acceleration is equal to r into alpha. Alpha is angular acceleration. Now in translational motion, we use momentum, linear momentum, and linear momentum is equal to product of mass and velocity. Product of mass and velocity. On the other hand, in rotational motion, we use angular momentum J or L, and angular momentum is given by mass is replaced by moment of inertia I, and V, linear velocity, is replaced by angular velocity omega. Momentum, linear momentum is mass into velocity, and angular momentum I into omega. And relation between momentum and angular momentum is given by Rp sin theta. Rp sin theta. Now, in translational motion, we use force. Force is given by mass into acceleration. And in rotational motion, we use torque, and torque is given by mass is replaced by I, moment of inertia, and acceleration is replaced by angular acceleration alpha. In linear motion, we use force, mass into acceleration, and in rotational motion, we use torque, I into alpha. And relation between force and torque is given by torque is Rf sin theta. Torque is given by Rf sin theta, force into perpendicular distance from axis of rotation. Now, in translational motion, we use kinetic energy, and kinetic energy is given by half mv square. This kinetic energy is called translational kinetic energy. And in rotational motion, kinetic energy of rotation, rotational kinetic energy is given by half I into omega square. Mass is replaced by moment of inertia and velocity is replaced by omega square, angular velocity. In linear motion, we use relation between force and rate of change of linear momentum according to Newton's second law of motion. F is given by dp by dt. But in rotational motion, force is replaced by torque and linear momentum is replaced by angular momentum dj by dt. In translational motion, we use force is given by a rate of change of linear momentum, and in angular or rotational motion, torque is given by rate of change of angular momentum. In translational motion, we use V u plus at, equation of motion. V is given by u plus at. But in rotational motion, V is replaced by omega, U is replaced by omega naught, A is replaced by alpha into T. In translational motion, we use S ut plus half at square, but in rotational motion, S is replaced by theta, U is replaced by omega naught, time as it is half alpha t square. V is final velocity, U is initial velocity, acceleration time. Omega is final angular velocity, omega naught is initial angular velocity, alpha is angular acceleration, t is time, S displacement, theta angular displacement. Third equation, V square minus U square is 2as, but in rotational motion, V is replaced by omega, U is replaced by omega naught, 2 as it is, alpha into theta. Therefore, there are many differences in translational motion and rotational motion, because in translational motion we use different relation. In translational motion, velocity is given by ds by dt. In rotational motion, angular velocity d theta by dt. In translational motion, acceleration is given by dv by dt. In rotational motion, angular acceleration is given by d omega by dt. In translational motion, linear momentum is given by mass into velocity, and in rotational motion, angular momentum is given by I into omega. In translational motion, force is given by mass into acceleration. In rotational motion, torque is given by I into alpha. In translational motion, kinetic energy half mv square. This kinetic energy is called translational kinetic energy, and rotational kinetic energy is given by half I omega square. In translational motion, we use F dp by dt, and in rotational motion, torque is given by dj by dt. In translational motion, equations of motion are v is u plus at, s is ut plus half at square, v square minus u square is 2as. But in rotational motion, equations of motion are omega is omega naught plus alpha t, theta is omega naught t plus half alpha t square, omega square minus omega naught square is equal to 2 alpha theta. Now, some questions. Question number 1. If Earth suddenly contracts to half its present radius, keeping its mass constant, what would be the length of the day? We know that conservation of angular momentum, conservation of angular momentum. According to conservation of angular momentum remains constant and angular momentum is given by I into omega. In first case, consider R1 radius of the earth and I1 moment of inertia of earth, omega 1 angular velocity, and in first case angular momentum is given by I1 into omega 1. In second case, its radius decreases and R2 is given by 1 by 2 R1, because if Earth suddenly contracts to half its present radius, therefore in second case radius becomes 1 by 2 into R1. Let us consider I2 moment of inertia, omega 2 angular velocity. In both the cases, according to conservation of angular momentum remains constant. In first case, angular momentum is I1 into omega 1, and in second case, angular momentum is given by I2 into omega 2, but in both the cases, angular momentum remains constant. Therefore, I1 into omega 1 will be equal to I2 into omega 2. Now, what is moment of inertia of spherical shell? We know that moment of inertia of Earth or spherical shell is given by 2 by 5 m r square, 2 by 5 m1 r1 square into omega 1. Omega 1 is given by 2 pi by t1. Omega is given by 2 pi by t. Now, I2 is given by 2 by 5 m r2 square. Now, omega 2 is given by 2 pi divided by t. Mass is constant, keeping its mass constant. Therefore, m cancel out each other. 2 by 5 cancel out each other. 2 pi cancel out each other. R1 square by T1 will be equal to R2 square by T2. Now, from this, T2 will be equal to R2 square by R1 square into T2. We know that R2 is 1 by 2 R1. Therefore, R2 is replaced by 1 by 2 R1 square into T1. 1 by 4 R1 square by R1 square into T1. R1 square cancel out each other. Therefore, T2 will be equal to 1 by 4 into T1. T1 24 hours, because length of one day is 24 hours. But in second case, length of one day will be equal to 6 hours. 1 by 4th of T1. According to conservation of angular momentum, I1 omega 1 will be equal to I2 omega 2. I1 moment of inertia of Earth is a type of the shape of Earth is spherical. Therefore, radius of Earth is r1 and mass is m. Therefore, moment of inertia of Earth is given by 2 by 5 mr square. In first case, 2 by 5 m r1 square. Omega 1 is given by 2 pi by t1. In second case, I2 is given by 2 by 5 m r2 square and omega 2 is given by 2 pi by t1. 2 by 5 m cancel out each other, 2 pi cancel out each other, r2 square divided by t2 is equal to r1 square by t1. From this we can find the value of t2, length of day, and length of day is 1 by 4 into t1. T1 is 24 hours, therefore 6 hours. Therefore answer is 6 hours. Now coming to next question. Find the torque of a force minus 3 I cap plus j cap plus 5 k cap acting at a point r vector 7 I cap plus 3 j cap plus k cap. We know that torque is given by Rf sin theta into n cap, or in vector form r vector cross f vector, in cross vector form r vector cross f vector. Therefore, to find torque, I cap, j cap, k cap. Now, rectangular components of vector are 7 I cap, 7 along x axis, 3 along j axis, y axis, and 1 along z axis. 7, 3, 1 are rectangular components of vector R. Now, rectangular components of force. Force is given by minus 3 I cap. Minus 3 rectangular component along x axis, 1 rectangular component along y axis, and 5 rectangular components along z axis. Now, I cap 3 into 5, 15, 1 into 1 minus 1, minus j cap 35, minus 3 into minus 1, minus minus plus 3 into 1, 3, plus k cap 7, minus 3 into minus 3, minus minus plus 9, 14 I cap, 38 j cap, and 16 k cap. 14 I cap minus 38 j cap plus 16 k cap. Therefore, torque acting is given by 14 I cap minus 38 j cap plus 16 k cap. Next question. Torques of equal magnitudes are applied to a hollow cylinder and a solid sphere. In this case, same torque is applied to hollow cylinder and solid cylinder, both having same mass. Mass of hollow cylinder and sphere, solid sphere, is same, and radius is also same. The cylinder is free to rotate about its axis of symmetry. If cylinder is free to rotate about its axis of symmetry, then moment of inertia of cylinder is given by mr square. The sphere is free to rotate about an axis passing through its center. Then moment of inertia of sphere is given by 2 by 5 mr square. Now consider hollow cylinder and solid sphere. Moment of inertia of hollow cylinder is I1. I1 is given by mr square. And moment of inertia of solid cylinder I2 2 by 5 mr square. M is same for both the cases and radius is also same for both the cases. Therefore, I1 is mr square and I2 is 2 by 5 mr square. Now, same torque is applied. Therefore, in both the cases, torque is same. Torque is given by I into alpha, I1 alpha 1, I2 alpha 2. We know that I1 means moment of inertia of hollow cylinder, and I1 is given by mr square, alpha 1 as it is, I2 is moment of inertia of solid sphere, and moment of inertia of solid sphere is 2 by 5 mr square, and alpha 2 as it is, mr square cancel out each other. Therefore, alpha 1 divided by alpha 2 is 2 by 5. From this, we can say that alpha 2 is greater than alpha 1. Alpha 2 is greater than alpha 1. It means angular acceleration in case of solid sphere is greater than angular acceleration in case of hollow cylinder. And question is asked, which of the two acquire a greater angular speed? Angular speed is given by omega naught plus alpha t. Alpha means angular acceleration, and angular acceleration in case of solid sphere is greater than in case of hollow cylinder. Therefore, solid sphere acquires a greater speed, greater angular speed after a given time. In this case, torque is same, therefore, torque 1 and torque 2 both are equal. Torque 1 is given by I1 into alpha 1, torque 2 is given by I2 into alpha 2. I1 means moment of inertia of hollow cylinder, mr square, alpha 1 as it is. I2 means moment of inertia of solid cylinder, 2 by 5 mr square, alpha 2 as it is. From this, alpha 1 divided by alpha 2 is 2 by 5, and we can say that alpha 2 is greater than alpha 1. And angular speed is given by omega is equal to omega naught plus alpha t. Omega depends upon alpha, directly depends upon alpha. Therefore, omega angular speed for solid sphere is greater than for hollow cylinder. In this video, we studied some numericals and difference between translational motion and rotational motion. Hope you understand. Thank you.